Hello, hi, Leftofawesome. I'm Gislina. I'm gonna be filling in for Nathan for the next little while. I'm really excited to be here. I think this channel is super awesome. Like, I'm really, like, it's so good what you guys are doing, and I'm glad that I get to be part of it for a short period of time. Or longer, you know, depending on how things work out. And also, this is gonna give me an excuse to, like, keep up with what's going on in the world around me. What I want to talk about today isn't actually very recent. I went to see Othello last night, and my aunt started talking about it. Othello will come back into the story later, but my aunt started talking about it, and I thought that's a fantastic thing to do for my Leftofawesome video. So I looked it up, and it's this book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Location change, location change. There's been a location change. Let's just get all of the products out of the window. Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. I didn't manage to get my hands on the book because I found out about this last night. But here I have the summary. I'm sort of like a George F. Walker character, I should probably warn you, in that I tend to not know what I think about something until I talk about it. So I work things out well by talking about them. So I often get very confused when I'm trying to make videos. I tried to film this once before, and I ended up just ranting about globalization. It does have a lot to do with globalization, but this is like a particular sort of kind of massively horrific part of the whole globalization thing. Okay, your first of them is economic hitmen, because what they would do essentially is they would go into developing countries. They didn't work for the US government, because that would be like, they can't have those implications. So they would work for like this company, Toast is Done, and the company would get paid by the government, paid by, you know, taxpayers, but they wouldn't be directly connected to the government. So the deal is, they go into developing countries and they say, here, take this money to develop your infrastructure. And they always give them loans that they know that they will never be able to pay off. And then they would do everything in their power to ensure that the country would go bankrupt, so that after that country has developed its infrastructure and developed its, like, ability to develop its natural resources, it would then essentially be like America's bitch. If America ever needed, like, votes in the UN or, like, access to oil or anything, they would say, you owe us fucking huge amounts of money, so do this for us. Or if they needed military help, like, you can't fucking, you know? Yeah, I'm swearing too much. I've been rehearsing a George F. Walker play recently, can you tell? Perkins defines economic hitmen as highly paid professionals who cheat countries around the globe out of trillions of dollars. They funnel money from the World Bank, the U.S. Agency for International Development, and other foreign aid organizations into the coffers of huge corporations and the pockets of a few wealthy families who control the planet's natural resources. Their tools include fraudulent financial reports, rigged elections, payoffs, extortion, sex, and murder. So, like, on one hand, they're basically turning entire countries into a space to develop oil and shit, and then, like, there are all these people living in these countries who are deprived of, you know, health, education, social services because of these these economic hitmen. And of course, all the corporations involved would become extremely wealthy. Now, when this guy wrote this book, he started writing it in the 80s, and he stopped writing it so many times because he would get death threats and bribes. And it was on 9/11, he says, that he decided he needed to really finish the book because it needed to be known. It just gets worse and worse. And you just, like, eventually you have to be like, are you fucking kidding me? For his part, Perkins convinced a key player with the House of South, a man he calls Prince W, that these projects would benefit his country as well as him personally. Perkins was able to eventually persuade Prince W by arranging for a beautiful prostitute to live with him. The United States is a nation laboring to deny the quote about its imperialist role in the world. That's a good quote. And so then at the end of this summary, it's like, I expect this is also at like the end of the book, he suggests like things you can do to, you know, on your own sort of deal with this thing. Help stop. Okay, he uses this word and I don't know how to say it. Corporatocracy. Help stop the corporatocracy or whatever, and to end this insane and self-destructive march to global empire. That's a good quote too. And it's all like, you know, read critically, read between the lines, always seek the truth, cut back on oil consumption, downsize your possessions, protest against unfair trade agreements, protest against companies that exploit desperate people in sweatshops, protest against companies that pillage the environment, look for ways to educate others about what is going on in the world. Like, generally, things that everyone on this channel, I'm sure, does on a regular basis. Like, it seems like these are, like, really basic things to do to protect basic human rights in the world. And finally, ask yourself the following questions. Why have I allowed myself to be sucked into a system that I know is unbalanced? What will I do to help our children and all children everywhere to fulfill the dream of our founding fathers, the dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I'm sounding pretty Americanized right now. What course will I take to end starvation and make sure there is never again a day like September 11th, which is, you know, when he decided he needed to write the book? How can I help our children understand that people who live gluttonous, unbalanced lives should be pitied but never, ever emulated, even if those people present themselves through the media they control as cultural icons and try to convince us that penthouses and yachts bring happiness? What forums will I use to teach others and to learn more on my own? I think we can all answer this question. And then, okay, the thing is, they get these people who can just, like, come in and fuck everything up for a country, an entire country full of people who come in and do something that they know will destroy it and benefit a few rich people who they are working for. And so they come in and they lend money to these countries, ensure that they go bankrupt, and then just, like, use and feed off the resources of that country forever. But then, when those countries need to be fixed, they send in the exact same people, because they are the only ones that can figure out how to fix it. And so, recently, this kind of whole economic deficit thing is happening big time in Iceland. And I've heard quite a few people say that they think that this is kind of probably what is going on. So here's where Othello comes back into it, because I need to make this video as nerdy as humanly possible. Like, Othello is Iceland, or like the developing country, and Iago is these companies. Like, the handkerchief is the economic hitman. Desdemona, in this, if we're talking about Iceland, is kind of like the Icelandic president, because, well, it was kind of his fault, and he was forced to step down. Like, isn't it crazy how these things are still relevant today? That's not what this video is about. Anyway, I feel like this is something that more people should know about, because I didn't know about it until last night. And, yeah, I'm getting, like, way too excited for my own good right now. I'm really happy to be part of this channel. And I look forward to making more videos. Whoever decides to make a video next, I'll see you.